Hello viewers and welcome. I can honestly tell you that in 25 years of sim racing and over 50 years of gaming, I have in my entire life not been as excited about the release of a video game as I am about this. Project Motor Racing is coming and I can't wait. Oh my god. Let's get into it. Race all the legendary brands, iconic classes, eras, and race-bred machines from motorsport's golden age to today's fiercest contenders on scanned versions of the world's most prized tracks. Sounds pretty excellent so far, and that's just the blurb on the back of the pack. What are we getting for this? Single-player career. Without a doubt, this is what I'm really looking forward to, because the way they've got this designed, it is as close to real current racing as you can possibly get. This is not an AI, you can knock them off the track, nobody cares, just drive around, have a little fun. If you wreck your car in turn 1, and you don't finish the race, that's it. You're done. You have to pay for the damages. You don't get any prize money. If you can't afford it, that's the end of your season. It's serious sim racing. The whole concept of, oh, you win. Good job. Here's some money. No, don't cut it no more. A game that does a fairly good job of handling and has okay physics and the damage models so doesn't cut it anymore. People are expecting perfection. They want handling that is real. They want physics that is real. They want everything that is real, because that's what sim racing is all about. Simulated racing. What does it mean, though, to have an extremely realistic career simulator? It's time to rethink how we go racing in a sim. And these guys are writing the new book. One of the things about modern racing that you've got to understand is it's not actually as profitable as it used to be. In the 80s, you could make an obscene amount of money as a race car driver and a racing team. You can't anymore. There are NASCAR winners in big races who make a whopping $25,000 for winning the race. But you got to remember, they got to pay for travel costs. They got to pay for the entry fee. They got to pay for all the fuel. They got to pay for tires. They got to pay for all of those things out of that money. Damage repairs are also something you'll need to keep in mind. Pro tip, don't wreck the car. Drive smart. This game might actually teach sim racers how to properly race, because if you start wrecking your car, your career is going to be over. As they say, each championship in Project Motor Racing has an entry fee, and each individual race has an individual travel fee to simulate, at a streamlined level, the fact that your team must physically travel to the event. It might be half a world away, so it will depend where your team is based. If you want to race in races that are all based in North America, but you're in Asia, it's going to cost you a lot more for travel. If you want to race a whole bunch of races that are in Europe and you're in the US, it's going to cost you more for travel. So you have to think about, where am I going to base my team based on the racing style category that I'm going to be in. Sponsorship is actually part of this game, because let's face it, sponsorship is part of real life racing, especially currently, because when it comes to making money, a sponsor helps back your finances. They might be paying for your travel. They might be paying for your damage repairs. They might be just giving you a one-time, here's your amount of money for going to this race. Thanks very much for showing up. Different ways of doing it, and the game mimics that as well. So how does it really work? Well, you can opt for a guaranteed flat fee for every race. You can try your hand something a little spicier with a higher payout if you happen to score well in the race, if you happen to win it or get on the podium. Or your sponsor can just cover your damage repairs or entry fees, operational costs. Lots of different ways you can do it, and it's based on what you want in terms of what you want from your sponsors and what you want for your team. The idea is that your sponsorship model is something you carefully pick to ensure you stay in the black. Period. That's it. You want to make sure that you're being smart about this whole thing. So you're running a team, you're driving the car, you're managing the team, you're doing all of those things in terms of finances, repairs, sponsorship negotiations, and driving. I mean, honestly, you can't ask for more than that. If you're just a, weekend warrior and you want to jump in and do a couple of races, great. If you're one of those people that spends 5 hours a day, 10 hours a day racing, they want to be able to help you as well. So it's got to be applicable to everyone. So what if you're one of those people who wants to start at the bottom? You want to buy a little 75 brake horsepower tin top. Here's your Mazda Demio. Have fun. Go for it. You can do that. What if you wanted to start in the GT3 category? You can do that. What if you wanted to start at the top in the LMP category? You can do that too. Option 1, start with $75,000, which gives you a chance to buy a car, put a little bit of upgrades into it, get into your first race, pay your entry fees, and see how you do. Option 2, let's go for GT3. Let's go into the middle of the ladder. Let's race some serious race cars. and see how we do there. Or you get one of those diehards who's like, man, I've been racing for 20 years. I know what I'm doing. I want to start at the top. I don't want to be told by a video game that I have to start at the very, very bottom and work my way up. I've been doing this for a long, long time, and that's just, it's demeaning. It's not a good way to make a game popular to people who have had that experience. So, you want to start in the LMP category? Go for it. You can do that too. Each one of them has its own budget. So you start with a little bit of money and a little tiny car, or you start with a decent amount of money and a good car, or you start with a lot of money and an amazing car. And there's also a fourth option. The one where you run your historics program with an absurd amount of money to replicate the dentist turned amateur racer. I mean, let's be honest now. You got some guy who's got $15.5 million sitting in a fund somewhere, and he goes, I want to go race something. So he buys a historic race car and goes crazy. Why not? You can do that too. This is something that really got me going, because there's so many games that come out and you don't have a choice of how it's run. It's like, oh, this is it. This is how the race works. This is how the game works. Deal with it. This sentence right here gives me a great deal of hope. Here's the fun part. Authentic mode features no restarts and is toggled on by default. Wait, toggled on by default, which means you can turn it off, which means you could restart. So if you're one of those people that keeps making mistakes and you don't want to be so frustrated after the second race that you wrecked your race and you go, starting over again. No, you can start the race over if you want to, or leave it in authentic mode and suck it up, princess. As they say, you're welcome to switch to traditional and get restarts as well as your own curated AI, of course. Your goal isn't to win a bunch of championships and collect all the cars. Thank you. I don't want to collect a bunch of cars. I only like a few. You can see me playing Gran Turismo 7. I'll race the meta if I have to, but I love my NSX. I love them. They're amazing. Wonderful cars. They sound good. They feel good. They drive well. I love them. Don't make me collect cars. And for the love of God, don't make me have to go through a bunch of races to unlock cars. That's one of the things about this game that I'm really, really excited about, is every single thing is available right off the go, right at the start. But you have to earn it by having enough money to buy it, because everything's got a price. You say, oh, I want to start at the bottom. I got my $75,000 budget, and I got my Honda Civic, and I put a decent muffler on it and a good set of wheels or something, and off I go, right on. Oh, you know what? I'd really like to buy that LMP car. Well, you're going to have to do a whole lot of racing, and you're going to have to do a whole lot of smart team management to make enough money to be able to buy that LMP car. Makes sense, right? Because that's how real racing works. I love this line. We want you to fear a wreck in front of you the way real drivers do. You see somebody trashed in front of you and you go, oh God, don't hit him or I'm going to wreck my own car. Right? Slow down, move around them like you're supposed to in real racing. Because if you don't and you end up wrecking your car, even if it's not your fault, you still got to pay for it. All right, let's get into the really good stuff. The cars. All the brands of cars that have inspired a legacy of passion, all faithfully recreated using CAD and all manufacturer approved. That's the key to what could potentially make this game the top sim racer in the world. Every car in the game has been designed to be exactly like the real car, and every single one of them is tested by the manufacturer's drivers to make sure that the handling is correct, the physics are correct, everything is right. That means basically when you get into the Toyota Supra GT4 car, it's going to feel exactly like getting into the real Toyota Supra GT4 car in terms of its handling and its physics and the way it responds. Right? This even goes down to the secondary details. Your windshield wipers, your lights, the interior of the car. Everything has been painstakingly recreated to be as authentic and real as possible. Thank you. In terms of classes, we have LMDH, GT3, GT4, GT, NGT, LMP, Sports Car 70. Oh, baby. And more, because there's more stuff coming. So you got a whole bunch of classes that you can get into depending on what you want to race. If you love LMP cars, go for it. You love GT4 cars, go for it. You want to race 70s? Go for it. The manufacturer is currently in the game. Aston Martin, Audi, Gillette, I don't know how to pronounce it, Lamborghini, Lister, Lola. To be perfectly honest, some of these cars, like Lola, forgive me, the diehards, I've never heard of this company. But you see the car that they've got in this game? Look at that thing. I mean, that's one. That's one of the 70s cars. That's one that they're going to be putting in. How cool is that? Marcos, Morgan, Mosler, Panos, Saline, TVR. And to be announced, because more coming. 70 plus cars. That's lots. We need a good selection of all of the cars needed in order to enjoy these classes. Because honestly, this is what we want. So this is what they're giving us. And I'm sure once the game is released, they're going to continue to be adding more cars and more tracks and everything else. Because if they don't, it's going to get stale. In terms of tracks, now in today's sim racing world, you expect the tracks to be laser scanned. That's just a given. If they're not, it's like, what are you doing? Go away. But that's only one aspect of it. What about atmospheric conditions? What about day-night cycle? What about the way the light changes? What about the drying line? What about the rubber on the track becoming a skating rink when it starts to rain? These all get put into this game. 27 different tracks on 5 different continents will give you an excellent assortment of places to race. Let's face it, we don't need 150 tracks. We don't need all the possible combinations and the various and assorted this, that, and the other things. What we want are the tracks that are used in today's racing. Keep them real, make it as real as possible to be there and race around those tracks, and we're happy. This is the one thing that really gives me hope. Project Cars came out however many years ago, and you've got to remember, CARS stood for Community Assisted Racing Simulator. The idea was to bring the community into the fold, let them tell the company what's good, what's not, give us feedback so that we can improve the game. Factory driver program. Now, not everybody is going to be allowed to get into this, but you can apply. Everyone can apply. I did. Most of my friends who sim race did, because you get the opportunity to test these cars, test the mods, test every aspect of the game, and give feedback to the developers in such a way that they can then make some changes in the game to make it better. I'm not going to go into a great deal of detail. Check out projectmotorracing.com. You can read all this on your own, but suffice to say, they've created this portal where the people who are selected for this program can go in and actually answer the questions in such a way that the developer looks at the answers and goes, okay, that's what's going on with that particular car. That's what's going on with that particular track. Okay, that makes sense. Now we know how to change this. We know how to tweak it. We know how to refine that razor's edge. So to do this, they've actually created a multiple choice system. Was the car going around this particular corner on this particular track? Was it super understeery, a little bit understeery, neutral, a bit oversteery, super oversteery? There you go. Pick number 4. It was a little bit oversteery. That helps them understand how this car is reacting when it goes around that particular corner. And knowing that particular corner, they can then change the handling, change the physics, make things a little bit more realistic. Bringing the community into their testing, if you will, means we actually have a say in the development of this program. I think it's best summed up in this particular paragraph here. This isn't about patching mistakes. It's about refining the razor's edge of realism where minute adjustments can make the difference between immersion and immersion breaking. When you've got a car that is handling exactly the way it's supposed to, that's immersive. You're in the car. You're in the race. There's nothing pulling you out of that. The one thing that I'm really not sure of in terms of how this is going to work in this game is it a bunch of DLCs that are going to be dropped on us? We've got to buy each one individually. When you go to get the game, when you go to pre-order the game, there are 3 different versions available. You have Project Motor Racing Year 1 bundle, $89.99. I'm assuming that's US. You get the GTE Decade Pack, and you get the Year 1 Season Pass. Okay. For $90? I mean, that's the cost of a normal video game. Okay. What does that give you? Apparently everything in the game is available right off the go, so you should be getting everything. Now, in terms of DLCs, every company needs to make money. That's how they stay in business. So what I'm assuming is there's going to be DLCs of, here's a new track, here's some new cars, these kinds of things. Second choice, Project Motor Racing with the GTE Decade Pack. This is $60. Okay, well, 60 versus 90 for a Year 1 Season Pass, that kind of suggests that the Season Pass is only $30. And then things got even more confusing when this piece of news was released just a few days ago. No subscriptions required. Awesome. No subscriptions, no rental fees, no premium passes, from leaderboard competitions to ranked competitions, social races to endurance challenges. It's all included in the base game. No tricks, no rentals, no season pass fine print. But that begs the question, why can you then pre-order the game with the season pass? Is there one or isn't there one? Not quite sure how that's going to work yet. And the third choice is just the game. You can pre-order it on Amazon, and if you go there, it actually tells you what's going on. You get 72 meticulously recreated cars in 10 iconic classes, 27 global layouts of tracks. So that's what you get for £39.16 is about $65, $70 of my money, which is a decent price for getting all of that. Now, if you go to the game tab, you scroll down, you see this. Handling, single player, multiplayer, physics, content, streamlined. All right. So, handling. Factory driver approved handling. As I mentioned before, every single car is designed to be exactly like the real thing, and it's tested by the manufacturer's drivers to make sure it actually is. So, when you are driving the Lamborghini Huracan, somebody at Lamborghini drove the hell out of that car in this game to make sure that it feels exactly like the Lamborghini in real life. Single player. We've already gone through the career mode. If it's even half as good as what they're saying it's going to be stellar. Multiplayer. You have custom lobbies. You have full-scale race weekend experiences. You have all the various things that you would normally have in an online racing simulator. But you also have asynchronous online. And that means it's a bunch of time trials and events and whatnot where you're not competing against people in real time on the same track. You're competing against the world in a time trial, as I mentioned, for example, where you're just trying to do the best you can to see how you fare against other drivers around the world. Physics. They've got a new Giants Engine 10, which is mod-friendly, which means if you really want that car to go 10,000 miles an hour and be absolutely glued to the ground, okay, create the mod for it. The developers will then take that, throw it in the old FDP portal, and let it get tested beyond the wazoo to make sure it's actually going to work and stick it in the game. How freaking cool is that? AC has modding, and it's one of the reasons why AC is still around, because you can do some crazy stuff. You want to drive the Nordschleife in the snow? You can! Why not? Somebody's made the mod for it. You want to drive a 250,000 pound dump truck? Okay, somebody's created a mod for that. Now we've got it in this one as well, with an engine that is reputed to be the most realistic physics handling engine in the world. Content. No fillers, all rivals. 70 plus cars, 10 iconic classes, and 27 tracks. Honestly, that's all we need. There will be more coming, I'm sure, with DLCs over time. But that's all we need in a base game. That gives you, well, 16 more tracks than LMU's got. A whole shite ton more cars than LMU gives you when you first buy it. And LMU is an absolutely stellar game. Streamlined. What do they mean? Get rid of the 10,000 clicks to get into a race. One thing I don't like about LMU is it's rather clunky in terms of its menus and trying to navigate them and go back to this one and you got to go back and back and back to finally get into them, re-register to go forward. It's like, just give us the opportunity to get into a race, please, single player or online. Keep it simple. Car setups, gamepad handling, your HUD, all customizable so that you can have the experience the way you want it. I can't honestly think of anything more that they could do in terms of making this game fit what sim racers are looking for. This is why I'm so excited for November. This is why I will actually be pre-ordering this game, and I don't pre-order games. Ever. I've been burned a couple of times. Destiny. That, folks, is why I am so excited for this game. This is going to be a game changer. This is going to be the one that every other game looks at and goes, uh-oh. We're in trouble. An absolutely stellar player experience is coming in November, and I am personally seriously looking forward to this. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment. What do you think about what's coming? Are you interested in this? Are you excited for this? Are you not? Do you think it's going to be great? Do you think it's going to be crap? Let me know. I'd love to hear from you. If you liked any part of this, click the old like button. Thank you so much for watching. Have an awesome day. I'll catch you next time. Peace.